Have you ever looked at the clock and seen 11:11 again? Or thought of someone, only for them to text you seconds later? You shrug it off. You say, "That was weird." And then it happens again and again, until something inside you whispers, "This can't be random." Because it's not. What you're witnessing are not glitches. They're messages. Synchronicities. Synchronicities are the universe's secret language. A conversation happening between your soul and the structure of reality. But here's the problem. Most people are too distracted to notice. Too programmed to believe everything must have a logical cause. Too afraid to listen to what they already know. But you're different. You're watching this because some part of you knows something is trying to reach you, and it's time to listen. Let's start by clearing the biggest misconception. Synchronicities aren't just cool coincidences. They are precise alignments between your inner state and the outer world. Moments when your vibration, your frequency, matches up perfectly with something external to create a message, a mirror, a map. And the more conscious you become, the more frequent they get. Because synchronicity isn't rare. Awareness is. But what causes them? The deeper truth is this. You're not living in a random, chaotic universe. You're living in a responsive field, an intelligent matrix that reflects your inner reality back to you in symbolic form. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions reach a certain level of coherence, the universe responds, not with words, but with symbols, with patterns, with timing too perfect to explain away. Here's an example. You've been thinking about a major life change, quitting a job, leaving a relationship, but you're unsure, you're scared, you're waiting for a sign. Then out of nowhere, you hear the same word 3 times in one day. You see a random quote that hits exactly what you're feeling. A stranger says something that feels like it was meant for you. That's not coincidence. That's communication. It's not logic. It's alignment. Still skeptical? Good. That means you're paying attention. But ask yourself this. Why do the same numbers keep showing up? Why do certain songs play at the exact moment you think a specific thought? Why does the universe seem to be winking at you? Because it is. Synchronicity is the subtle, elegant way that higher intelligence guides the awakened. Not through commands, but through confirmation. Let me say this clearly. The universe is always speaking, but it does not speak English. It speaks in resonance. And you don't understand synchronicity with your mind. You feel it in your bones. It's that chill on your skin, that sudden clarity, that moment where everything pauses and you think, "Whoa, that meant something." But why does it matter? Because every synchronicity is an invitation to slow down, to notice, to trust your intuition. It's the universe saying, "You're on the path, keep going." Or sometimes, "You're out of alignment, shift now." When you understand how to read them, you stop second-guessing. You stop outsourcing your decisions. You move from reaction to reception. Let me ask you this. What's the last synchronicity you ignored? That nudge you explained away? That weird moment you dismissed? How many signs has the universe sent you that you pretended weren't real? Because every missed synchronicity is a missed opportunity, not for success, but for alignment. But don't worry, the signs don't stop. They just get louder. First, it's numbers. Then, it's repeated symbols. Then, entire events start shifting to mirror your inner world. The more you listen, the more the universe speaks. And when you really start listening, you stop needing to ask, because everything becomes a message. In part 2, we'll explore the different types of synchronicities, including number codes, dream loops, mirrored conversations, and even glitches in the matrix. You'll also learn how to tune your energy so synchronicities increase naturally without chasing them. You were never meant to live blindly. You were meant to live in dialogue with the divine. And now, that conversation has begun. So now you know, synchronicity isn't a glitch, it's a guide. But what exactly do these signs look like? How do they show up? And more importantly, how do you read them? Let's break it down. Type 1. Number codes. Repeating numbers are one of the most common forms of synchronicity. 1111, 222, 333, 444. Each one carries a frequency, a vibration, encoded with a message. They're not just angel numbers, they're frequency pings from the field. Think of it like this. Every time you see repeating numbers, it's a nudge, a cosmic whisper, something like, pause, pay attention, you're aligning. The number isn't the message, you are. And the moment you become aware of it, the frequency lands. Type 2. Mirrored conversations. You think a thought, then hear someone say the exact phrase. You're processing an emotion, then watch a video that describes it perfectly. Coincidence? No. It's resonance manifesting in real time. The outer world is mirroring your inner landscape. It's like the universe is saying, I see you, let's keep going. Type 3. Dream echoes. You dream of a place or person, and then experience them in waking life. These are not random. They are pre-signals, your subconscious syncing with reality ahead of time. Why? Because time, to the soul, isn't linear. Your dream world is a dimension where information flows freely. When you dream it and then see it, it means you're tapped in. Type 4. Sequence interruptions, glitches. Ever have a moment where reality skips? A déjà vu so strong it shakes you? Something unexplainable but deeply familiar? These aren't errors. They are breakpoints in the code, designed to jolt you out of autopilot. It's your soul shaking the matrix, saying, wake up, you're remembering. Type 5. Symbolic patterns, animals, objects, colors. You keep seeing the same thing over and over, like owls, keys, white feathers, butterflies, snakes, fire. These are archetypes, symbols carrying universal meaning, tailored to your journey. The ancient mystics knew this well. So did shamans. So do you, deep down. You don't need a dictionary to decode these signs. You need presence and trust. So how do you attract more synchronicities? You don't. You align. When your thoughts, actions, and emotions harmonize, your field becomes magnetic. You stop chasing signs and start walking in a state where everything becomes one. Here's how to shift. 1. Slow down. Synchronicities live in stillness, not stress. 2. Set intentions. The universe mirrors your clarity. 3. Trust your inner language. If it feels significant, it is. 4. Acknowledge the signs. A simple, I see that, opens the next layer. 5. Stay curious. Wonder is the gateway to wisdom. Let me remind you, synchronicities don't prove anything. They reveal. They reveal what you're becoming, what you're attracting, and what you're ready to see. The more you recognize them, the faster your alignment accelerates. And the more aligned you are, the more the world begins to feel like it's talking directly to you, because it is. In Part 3, we'll explore what the universe is really trying to tell you through these patterns, and how to move from noticing synchronicities to following them. Because the truth is, they're not just signs, they're instructions. So you've seen the signs, the numbers, the symbols, the dreams, the patterns. You've stopped dismissing them as random. You've started feeling their presence. Now the real question is, what are they trying to tell you? Because synchronicities aren't just cosmic high fives, they're instructions. Messages wrapped in mystery, delivered in silence, designed for those willing to listen without needing proof. Let's go deeper. Synchronicities always serve one of three main functions. 1. Confirmation. 2. correction. 3. Calling. 1. Confirmation. You're walking the right path. You're making aligned choices. And the universe reflects that by echoing you back to yourself. This is when everything clicks. The signs multiply, doors open. Your energy feels clean, light, forward-moving. It's like the universe is saying, yes, more of this. 2. Correction. You're drifting off path. You're making decisions from fear, ego, or conditioning. So the universe nudges you. You might feel blocked. You see warning signs. Things don't flow. Synchronicities here act like gentle redirects, course corrections from your higher self. It's not punishment, it's precision. 3. Calling. This is the big one. The soul whisper wrapped in coincidence. A pattern so loud it feels like life is pointing neon arrows at your face. This is when the universe says, wake up, it's time. A calling synchronicity might feel like getting the same idea over and over. Seeing a word, name, or image repeatedly. Feeling a pull towards something you can't logically explain. It doesn't make sense, but it won't go away. That's how you know it's real. Let me tell you something true. The universe doesn't speak in paragraphs. It speaks in threads, tiny, repeating pulses, like breadcrumbs from the future, showing you what you're ready to step into next. But it won't force you. It invites. It waits. The choice is always yours. So, what do you do with a synchronicity? Here's your simple 3-step process. 1. Acknowledge it. Don't brush it off. Say it out loud. I see this. I feel this. I'm listening. 2. Feel into it. What does it stir in you? Excitement? Resistance? Fear. That feeling is the message. 3. Act on it. Not blindly, not impulsively, but with awareness. Ask, what's the next small step I can take in this direction? Synchronicities are portals. You don't have to jump through. But when you do, the path reshapes itself around your new frequency. Here's something powerful. The more you act on synchronicity, the faster you collapse time. What used to take years suddenly unfolds in weeks. Because you're no longer pushing against life. You're moving with it. This is the true rhythm, the inner GPS, not found in logic, but in alignment. You might be asking, but what if I misread the sign? Here's the secret. It doesn't matter. Because every sincere step brings either clarity or correction. There are no wrong moves when you're listening, only refinements. Even the wrong turns are part of the route. And the signs? They'll keep showing up, lovingly, persistently, precisely. In part 4, we go into why synchronicity increases during awakening and how to handle the flood of signs, downloads, and intuitive hits that come when your soul is remembering its language. Because this isn't about spiritual entertainment, it's about rebuilding trust in your intuition, your guidance, and your deeper self. You're not just learning to follow signs, you're learning to follow you. If the signs are speaking to you, hit subscribe and tap the bell. This is just the beginning. When you start noticing synchronicities, you might think the universe just started talking to you. But here's the truth. It's always been speaking. You're just finally quiet enough to hear it. And with that clarity comes something bigger. Awakening. You start to realize the world isn't what it seems. You're not who you thought you were. And life is so much more than survival, routine, and logic. This is where things accelerate. The signs intensify. The timing gets faster. You think of something, and it shows up. A person crosses your mind, and suddenly they're in front of you. You're in flow. You're syncing. But with this flood of synchronicity comes another experience. Disruption. The things that no longer match your energy start to fall apart. jobs, relationships, beliefs, habits. They begin to feel wrong, heavy, outdated. That's not chaos. That's alignment at work. The more you awaken, the less you can tolerate what's fake. This is why synchronicity isn't always feel good. Sometimes it shatters your comfort zone. It forces you to see what you've been ignoring. It might come through. Sudden endings, unexplainable urges to change direction, strong emotional reactions to subtle signs, feeling like you're losing your mind but gaining clarity. That's not breakdown, it's breakthrough. Here's a truth many don't talk about. Synchronicity increases during spiritual awakening because your internal frequency is rising. You're no longer operating only from the mind. You're operating from energy, intuition, soul. And the universe can now respond faster because you're actually available, no longer asleep, no longer fighting yourself. But what do you do when it gets overwhelming? Because awakening isn't linear. Some days you're in flow, other days you're in fog. That's okay. That's part of the rewiring. You're learning to navigate without the old map. Here's how to ground yourself when the synchronicities start flooding in. 1. Write them down. Keep a synchronicity journal. Pattern equals a message. 2. Don't overanalyze. Feel first, then reflect. 3. Stay embodied. Breathe, eat, move. You're still human. 4. Let go of needing to figure it all out. You're not decoding the universe. You're dancing with it. Awakening can feel isolating because suddenly you see through things others still believe in. You realize the system is rigged, that most people are asleep, distracted, chasing things that will never fulfill them. But you're not here to preach. You're here to remember. And in doing so, you remind others. By simply being aligned, you give silent permission for others to start asking better questions. In Part 5, we'll explore how to follow synchronicities into action. How to build a life from this flow, not just watch it like a pattern. This is where synchronicity becomes strategy, not just spiritual curiosity, but conscious creation. Because the signs don't just guide you, they build with you, and your life is the proof. Let's be clear. Synchronicity isn't magic, it's mechanics. You're not lucky when it happens, you're aligned. And alignment isn't passive, it's intentional, it's practiced, it's lived. This is where you stop watching the signs and start walking with them. Most people notice synchronicities and do nothing. They smile, feel inspired, then forget. But those who build a life from them, they treat synchronicities as instructions, not just signs, not just symbols, but sacred strategy. Because when the universe gives you a thread, your only job is to follow it. Let's break down how to follow synchronicity into action. Step 1. Pattern equals path. If something shows up once, it's curiosity. If it shows up 3 times, it's instruction. The repeated signs, they're building a message. Write them down, map them out, ask, what am I being nudged toward? Then listen, not with your mind, but with your energy. Step 2. Small steps, big shift. Synchronicity doesn't ask for leaps, it asks for alignment. Maybe the message is, call that person. Start the project. Let go of that thing. Don't wait for the full plan. Act on the next clear step. Clarity expands with action. The path appears as you walk. Step 3. Don't force, don't freeze. Following synchronicity is not about control, it's about co-creation. When the door cracks open, walk through. Don't kick it down. But don't wait until it swings wide either. Flow moves with trust, and trust is the core here. The more you follow the signs, the more the universe trusts you with bigger ones. This is energetic dialogue. You prove you're listening, and life responds with more precision. So here's a truth nobody tells you. The more you build your life around synchronicity, the more synced life becomes. You'll notice projects forming effortlessly, people showing up exactly when needed, timing becoming uncanny, blocks dissolving without force. Because you're no longer building from effort, you're building from alignment. Let's pause for something real. You don't need to be a guru. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to follow what's alive, what's resonant, what moves you, even if it doesn't make sense yet. That pull you feel? That's your soul pointing to the version of you that's already waiting. Start treating your intuitive hits like facts. Start honoring your inner yes and no like sacred contracts. And most importantly, act before you're ready. Because when you do, you collapse timelines. You accelerate growth. You shift into the version of you that trusts frequency over fear. In part 6, the final piece, we take it beyond the personal. We explore how synchronicity connects us all, and how the more you follow your truth, the more you become a living signpost for others. You're not just following signs anymore, you're becoming one. So here we are. You've learned to notice the signs. You've learned to read them. You've begun to follow them. But now comes the final, unspoken truth of synchronicity. You are one. You are not just the observer of signs. You are the emitter. Your energy, your choices, your alignment, they all ripple into the field. Every time you speak truth, every time you follow intuition, every time you choose presence over programming, you become a signal to others, to the collective, to the grid of consciousness we're all part of. Have you ever met someone who just felt aligned? They didn't preach, they didn't prove, they just existed in truth. And by being near them, you started to feel clearer? That's what you are becoming. Not a seeker of signs, but a source of them. And here's the paradox. The more you become the sign, the fewer you need. Because you're no longer asking for permission. You're no longer needing confirmation. You're embodying your path, walking it with presence, with purpose, with power. Your choices matter now more than ever, not because of what they achieve, but because of what they transmit. Every act of integrity sends a signal. Every boundary you set sends a signal. Every time you rest, rise, say no, say yes, cry, create, forgive, you are informing the universe. This is what truth feels like. And others feel it, even if they don't know why. This is what real synchronicity does. It connects us through resonance, one soul at a time, one choice at a time. You were never alone in this. Your awakening is not isolated. It's woven, part of something bigger, something ancient, something now. And this is how it spreads. Not through force, not through preaching, but through living. You want to help the world awaken? Be someone who lives awake. You want to guide others? Walk your own path so clearly, so truthfully, that your life becomes the proof. Let's end with one final truth. The universe never stops speaking. And now, neither do you. You are speaking through every action, every alignment, every breath. So go. Follow the signs until you realize you are the sign. And from this day forward, may every moment be a message, and every step a signal of remembrance.